Welcome back to the Universal Open Rocket League Finals. We have a quick flashback here to our regional in Philly, where we had a pretty ridiculous story where actually Toxic had a very special substitute, none other than Dad. Quinn, as this is now entered into Rocket League lexicon at this point, what are your fondest memories of Dad?
Just seeing him come in and say, you know what? I need to learn how to use a controller like maybe 5 minutes before he's supposed to go on stage and play against Rizzo instead. That was just such a funny opportunity, or funny thing to see. And it was awesome to see his dad like trying to come to his son's, come to his side and help him out. It
was pretty awesome. But now we've got another match coming up next. It is, of course, going to be SizzleUrCob going up against the G2 Omega squad. I, personally saying before, this is the real G2 squad we're going to see here with their coach and a substitute player. Well, we'll see how it goes. But break down this match for me. Realistically, the G2 guys have a shot against SizzleUrCob. Wave, I want to hear from you.
So we heard James Bott saying the DAP G is his kind of closet pick if you're not picking Cloud9 on the North American side. For me, it's SizzleUrCob. These guys looked like they were playing on a completely different level than anything we had seen to date when we saw them playing during the regionals. So G2's got their work just completely cut out for them here. I think Jacob's going to run away with it.
Same for you as well?
Yeah, there's not much I can say here other than the fact that, we have a substitute and a team manager coming in here. It's not going to be easy for them at all, especially against a team who was probably one of the strongest performances in any regional we visited.
That's absolutely right. And as you can see right here on the page, so Sizz and Jacob are two of the biggest personalities in all of Rocket League. If you guys watch them through the regionals, they were doing ridiculous things basically between every game, having fun with each other and stuff like that. So it's certainly going to bring personality, even if they don't end up top here at this tournament. Now, of course, on the other side, we have G2's Omega squad, which is an amalgamation of G2A and G2B, which features Jazo, who is the coach for G2, and Stev, who is actually a stand-in who replaced JNaps, who was snowed in August, and it got really weird and interesting. But we'll see if G2 can hold things together under the G2 brand and come with a underdog victory against SizzleUrCob. And right now, Alex is actually standing by with the G2 boys.
Yes, I am. G2 Omega right here. Let's talk to him a little bit, starting with Stev, my friend. Coming into today, there's been a lot of moving around with teams. How are you feeling coming into today, having to deal with kind of a different environment and being on this big stage?
I'm just glad to be here. There's really no expectations. We're going against a really good team. So just going to show up, play hard, and hope for the best.
All right, that's awesome. Good luck. Jazo, over to you. I'm looking at them. We got Sizz and Cobb. These guys are pretty good. Do you know any weaknesses from them? Anything you're going to try to focus on to take them out?
I'm going to focus on how JNaps died for this.
Well, there you have it. G2 Omega. Can they pull off the upset? We're about to find out.
At SizzleUrCob, because like we mentioned before, these guys are ridiculous. They are ridiculous in every aspect, whether they win or lose. Tell me just the importance of having fun with each other and making them a little bit closer as a team. There's got to be some benefit to this, right?
My favorite part about that is I don't think Sizz knew where the camera was. He was looking down at the monitor that was below the camera to see what he looked like, where Jacob was always looking in the camera, but they were hamming it up the whole time.
Yeah, it was so funny to see, and you could tell that they have such a great mentality, and it keeps them staying positive, and even in the worst situation, so it's good to see.
All right, fair enough. And one more thing, Stev, actually a KBM player, plays with a keyboard and a mouse in contrast to most of the people who play with a controller. Obviously, that's a bit of a rarity. Talk to me about that real quick. What are the differences, and why do we still have a KBM player here?
Yeah, it's an overwhelming majority of all players use the controller. And the reason why is having that analog stick gives you much finer angles. You have so much more control over your car. Whereas keyboard and mouse, you either press turn left or not. You can't turn a little bit. You can't turn, you can't change the degree at which you're turning. So it's something very difficult. You don't see it. It's not by any means a normal thing to see.
All right, well, it looks like the game is ready to go. It's getting started, so let's give it to Jorby and James Bott.
Game one getting straight underway between SizzleUrCob in blue and G2 Omega in orange. And Sizz tapping that one down almost. Jazo finding the net, but just off to the side.
Yeah, and Jazo, in his interview, he mentioned that JNaps died for this. JNaps, he missed his flight and wasn't able to participate in the regional qualifier, and thus he wasn't able to appear here today. So unfortunate for him, but still, Stev and Jazo, they're going to do their best against SizzleUrCob.
Over in SizzleUrCob's corner, it's a runaway here. Open net. SizzleUrCob's going to score first, 1-0.
They just popped that one right in there. Jacob, Sizz, these guys, so good. Jacob's just going to tap this one right in. They're going to, get some help from one another.
Jacob's one of those players where he does the unexpected things, and even in twos, he just goes off and does his own thing. Like, why is he here? Or why is he there? He's just such an unexpected player.
Yeah, people say he has the most unpredictable play style in the game. And Sizz, again, just scoring right off the bat. Has that Hellfire explosion. Jazo committing a little too much. Steph could not get there in time. And, you know, Jazo, he's the manager of the team, so not necessarily a player. He is a little bit outclassed in this matchup.
And you know, they mentioned that Steph was a keyboard and mouse player, and really the WASD only gives you so much control, and maybe it's just not able to get up to the top.
I'm not going to be so quick to agree with everybody that controller is by far better, because I've seen what very talented player. Oh my goodness,
there you
Sizz.
go, Sizz just waiting. Just waiting there, letting G2 Omega kind of try to hit the ball here and get it away, and he just went
I'm sorry, G2 Omega, but
Sizz trying to look up where he is right there. Just gives it the thumbs up.
These
3-0.
Yeah, they're having a good time. But as I was saying about keyboard and mouse, we see a really talented player out of OCE, Torsus. He proved that you can have great mechanics even with keyboard and mouse.
Sure, it's definitely possible. You just got to work a lot harder for it. But over a minute gone in this game. It's 3-0 for SizzleUrCob, who have just been outright dominant so far in this first game. And just the way the entire tournament has gone so far. Thought maybe G2 Omega come out in this first game firing and showing us what they can do. But in this hole, they're going to have to work hard to come back from this 3-0 deficit. SizzleUrCob just keeping the ball back and forth. Throwing it down, Jacob. Able to make the save there was Stev.
And Stev, he is a player, a very high caliber player. Maybe not the best in North America. Now he's going to have a chance, a breakaway. Stev!
Yeah, that's a run.
That's going to be an open net, and he gets it. G2 Omega.
All right. Stev gets that one. And, you know, you're up 3-0, and trying to force one in there for SizzleUrCob. They're not going to do that every time, especially if the game gets a little bit closer. But if you are G2 Omega, you have to take advantage of that. You can't mess up on that. Stev able to throw that one in now. 3-1. Ooh. Can they continue this comeback? Stev gets a demo, and Jazo cannot find the ball. And it goes into the hands of Jacob, trying to just slip it under, and he cannot. Stev able to just back it away, and already finding himself a savior medal as we approach the halfway.
But as I was saying, Stev, he's a player that belongs in this tournament. He got here with Rizzo. He can play at the highest level, whereas Jazo, he's a player who still has a lot of hours left to dedicate before he can get on the level of some of these other players.
That shot headed towards the net and knocked away by Stev. Stev looking to work the corner here. Just going to end up going downfield. Jazo trying to get set up on the wing. Can't find it. A quick pass to Sizz, knocked away there by Jazo. Still throwing it end to end, stealing the boost, map control on these offensive opportunities. We've seen it in pretty much every game so far, how critical it can be. A shot not going to hit the net. Stev clears that one away downfield. And it seems to be all that G2 Omega can do. That one going under and saved by Sizz, almost finding the second goal, but gets cleared away.
Sizz was not expecting that ball to bounce straight out. Stev had a great shot, but Sizz was there to make the save.
Midfield. G2 Omega looking to try to move this down and get some shots on net. Just haven't had that luck in playing it slow here. In the corner, G2 looks to move it out, cannot flip it over Jacob. Coming up on the challenge, completely loses to Sizz. Here's Jacob, 1:30 left, only down by 2 still. All they need is another breakaway, and now they're up by 3 again. Sizz scores right in the box.
Yeah, Jazo caught by indecision right here. Jacob is just going to blast this off the corner. You see Jazo, he didn't challenge the shot, and then that pass coming out for Sizz rather. Sizz just blasted that one in the corner. No chance for Jazo to make the save.
You commit to a challenge like that, you got to go the whole way through. You can't hesitate, and it's exactly what led to that goal. Time ticking down here in game 1 for G2 Omega. A quick pass shot just high on the backboard. It will go by the wayside, and not easy to come back from 3 goals down. G2 Omega might be looking really towards game number 2 at this point, and a lot of these mistakes just seem to be hesitation towards the ball. What a shot by Sizz. 5-1.
Look at this shot. Sizz off the wall. Oh my, that was nasty.
These two guys, this is why, you know, Wavepunk is probably their closet team in NA besides Cloud9 to just run the table on this thing. Two just high-quality players in these guys, and they're showing you what they can do together, and it's absolutely insane. It's 5-1 for SizzleUrCob, and really just, you know, at this point, they got to score a goal about every 15 seconds or even less than that to come back in this game. Really thinking about game 2. For G2 Omega, I mean, what is it just mistakes on their end? Is it hesitation? What exactly is it that they have to fix going into the next game?
It's unfortunately for them, they are just 100% outclassed by this SizzleUrCob team. Jacob, he's a player on the #1 North American team, NRG, and then Sizz, you know, Rogue is another very talented squad. So these guys are the best of the best, whereas Stev and Jazo, you know, they are a tier below these other players.
The only goal for G2 Omega coming off of an overcommitment by SizzleUrCob, and as time ticks down, we're going to be moving on to game number 2. SizzleUrCob winning this one without really breaking a sweat, it feels, as James, like you've mentioned, we've all mentioned multiple times. These guys are just really a step above these guys, and maybe they can keep it a little closer. But for G2 Omega, they definitely have their work cut out from this ball still in the air. How long can they keep it up? And that's usually something that the pros like to do, just to keep it up as long as they can. And they can
here's
do
a
it for
chance
a long
for
time. Can
Jazo.
he get the goal? Jazo, run! No, he can't! It falls down, and SizzleUrCob obviously takes it.
Jazo trying to make me eat my words, coming up just a tad short. We see there they were forced to make 9 saves, a massive amount of shots, 16 shots for SizzleUrCob to just 5 for G2 Omega.
Yeah, I mean, the shot differential is really what tells the story, and it wasn't the fact that sometimes the best defense is a good offense, and I really just, if you could look at the time of the ball was spent in each side of the zone, you probably see like 4 minutes for SizzleUrCob. It was never on their end of the field.
SizzleUrCob was dictating the pace of this game from the very beginning. Pardon?
They're sizzling.
They're sizzling. They surely are, and right now, their opponents, they're burning. They're getting burned.
And you're just seeing great shots, and we saw a ridiculous shot by Sizz as well later in this incredible highlight reel of Jacob and Sizz, and obviously that one clear goal from Stev off of that overcommitment. You have to be able to capitalize on those mistakes, but they're not going to give you that.
But look at that save as well from Sizz. That bounce off the wall, he wasn't able to read it, but still managed to get back and make that save.
This shot right here,
it's
so hard.
It has to be perfect.
Yes.
You cannot make a mistake. There was 0 margin of error on that shot. You can tell those guys are having a good time.
Absolutely. And going into game 2 for G2 Omega, at this point, we can't harp on it enough that the guys they're playing against, these are the best players.
Yeah, they really are.
You just got to go out there, have fun, and maybe even try some crazy things. If you could get some sort of advantage early just by being wacky, it might get in your favor.
Jazo, he had that chance.
He had the dribble.
He had the chance to make that dribble happen.
I want to see it happen again. I want that dribble play to happen.
Well, he might get another opportunity, and we see SizzleUrCob. They're going out on a limb, trying to make some crazy plays happen, so that'll open them up to the counterattack.
Game number 2 going to get underway. And SizzleUrCob looking to score quickly here, but Stev knocks a quick shot opportunity away. Omega looking for an opportunity. There's Jazo. Let's tap towards the net, knocked away by Sizz, and Jacob's downfield. That one going to be way wide. Is coming for the wraparound and the shot. That one going into the net. Jacob, 1-0.
I didn't even see Sizz anywhere in this play. Look, you can't see him in this replay. It was all Jacob. Look at that.
Jacob's essentially
refusing to let go of his boost. You said he is the most unpredictable player in Rocket League. You can never tell what Jacob's going to do next.
Didn't take more than 26 seconds for SizzleUrCob to score. And they look to continue their dominance in their first round matchup against G2 Omega. Struggling to find this first goal. Under Sizz tapping it down for Jacob. Quick going against the backboard, but played away by Sizz. Sizz rushing out, he makes one miss over to Jacob. Jacob gets one tap, there's 2 and knocked away by Stev. About a minute gone, playing a little slower. And looking for a back pass, but up there in no man's land was Jacob to pick the ball away. keep any shenanigans from happening. And Sizz throws that one towards the net.
Oh.
Knocked off the post and coming around is Jacob to score it 2-0.
And a valiant effort here by Jazo. Sizz puts that in there. Jazo tried to clear it across the net, ends up hitting the post and bouncing right back out to Jacob. Unfortunate for him. And then SizzleUrCob go ahead 2-0.
Jazo and Stev now down after 2 minutes, 2
Fake
goals
kickoff.
to none. The fake kickoff there, as you said, didn't result in anything. Back and forth it goes. It's going to roll here for SizzleUrCob. In midfield. Both players expecting the other to hit it. It leads to those wacky double whiffs. Those are always comical to me. The dump down by Sizz. And Jacob scores his hat trick.
Sizz, you're out of your mind. Look at this pass from Sizz. Upside down, just taps it right to Jacob, who comes flipping in to finish that one off. They are just doing work right now.
Doing work is right. Only a minute 30 into this game, and they've scored 3 goals. Looking to outpace another fake kickoff. Because why not? Sizz looking for Jacob. Did not get the booming touch that he needed to get it downfield. Oh, Jacob just chasing that ball down, letting it fall. And SizzleUrCob are content to just play at their own pace with this kind of lead and kill the clock as long as they need to. They don't need to score 10 goals. They just got to play it away, keep possession, work end to end, and if the goal happens, it does. Now moving it towards the net, over to the corner. Sizz knocking it around, and is booted downfield by Stev. And, you know, speaking of Stev, who he wasn't even supposed to be in the Universal Open at all. And being able to sub in has to be quite the experience.
Yeah, for Stev, I mean, there was the whole situation with JNaps not being able to play, but Stev, he released a whole statement about how he is just excited to get to be a part of Rocket League history, this Universal Open for Rocket League. And Jacob dunking on him right there. So I don't know how good of a time he's having after that play, but
yeah, I don't. How can you take one game where you just it's utter domination, and then 2 games you're like, all right, this is fun. This is fun. At least,
and they're
I'm
still
always
not
picking
going
for
to be out of
myself
it yet. This is double elimination, so they're going to get to have another series. But for these guys to get to come out here and play against the best in Santa Ana at the Esports Arena, it is a special experience. And Stev was just excited to be a part of it.
How many people who play Rocket League get to say that they played against the best players in the world?
The best of millions.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, for these guys, being here is an accomplishment in itself. And we approach about 2 minutes left in this game. G2 Omega looking to find their first goal in game 2. SizzleUrCob all but surely will be moving on in the winner's bracket. But G2 Omega looking to try to dribble this down. Might have a goal opportunity here. A shot just wide and turned away by both Jacob and Sizz. A nice pick high by Stev. Jazo puts it towards the net, but it's not powerful. And that's going to be a breakaway opportunity as they play it slow. He just really kill. Oh, flip. Hello? Okay. I thought maybe he would just flip it over both defenders there, but it doesn't, and it's hanging around the box. Somebody hit the ball there, finally able to get it downfield. A minute 30 left, still 4-0.
Now a little bit of playing with your food right there from Jacob.
I don't play with my food. I don't eat when I'm not hungry. And so like when I'm hungry and I see food, it goes. I like playing. You gotta eat the food, James Rob.
Hey man, I eat a lot of food. I really like food.
Well, there you go. Food is good.
And SizzleUrCob, I mean, did you see their logo?
Do you like
it
burnt
looked
corn?
delicious.
Do you really like burnt corn? Like, be honest.
Popcorn,
have you ever
man.
eaten? That's not popcorn.
It'll pop.
That's
If it
inverted.
gets hot
That's
enough.
inverted corn. That would, well, anyways. 50 seconds left to go. And moving it down, just playing it away from both G2 Omega defenders, Sizz and Jacob. He was just having fun at this point. G2 Omega, like we mentioned, having fun with Sizz! What a shot by Sizz.
Look at this play. When you fall off the ceiling like this, you can save your jump until the final second. And Sizz, look at him, just perfection into the net. Unbelievable play by Sizz.
Most times when they go off the ceiling like that, you see them usually get like straight against the ball or above it. He just got under it and then flipped. That was really impressive by Sizz. It doesn't matter how many times I see people do that. It will never not be impressive to me. Moving downfield, they're going to get another man here, almost going for that demolition, and there is going to be the goal for G2 Omega as he rolls it in. Stev gets another one with time almost up here.
Yeah, you know, Jazo He was on the firing range right there. Both Sizz and Jacob taking a shot at him, but he was able to dodge it and set up that play for Stev as they prevent the shutout again in game 2.
Might have a potential Brazil setup, but there isn't a lot of time left in this series. It's 15 seconds. We are waning down. And G2 Omega, they will go down, and I believe they will play the loser of our next matchup. Moving on into the winner's bracket will be SizzleUrCob, Jacob, and Sizz, showing why they are two of the best players in the game.
Yeah, Wave Punk said SizzleUrCob is his dark horse team, and you could see there the absolutely insane plays from Sizz. You have to watch out for that guy. He can impress.
Okay, so we are back now. Let's talk a little bit about these games. Well, okay, in the interviews, I think that Steph and Josso were very honest, right? We're here to have fun. We think it's a great opportunity. We don't necessarily think that we're going to put up the biggest fight against everyone. And SizzleUrCob handled their business. So was this a real accurate representation of SizzleUrCob's level, or we got to wait to see how they perform against a truly top-level team?
Well, I think you really need to wait to see on a honest level. If you don't have two pro teams filled with like an equal skill level, certain teams like Jazo and Stev, they're giving up too much space, opening up opportunities, and you saw Jacob and Sizz scoring incredible goals. Like, I mean, really beautiful displays of mechanics, but it just wouldn't ever happen against the likes of Cloud9 or Flipside, teams that just, the second they see you going for that, they're just like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's take a look at the highlights here while we get some thoughts from Wave as well, because, you know, I think that this was probably from the outset considered to be one of the less competitive matches. Even the team themselves knew this G2 going into it. But honestly, it's not like it was still fun to watch. SizzleUrCob had to pull off crazy goals and stuff like that, but it was a pretty big walk.
The thing about mismatches is, especially when you have players as good as this, they can become just a straight-up exhibition of goals.
Sure.
The goals that these guys were scoring were so much fun to watch. They got so creative. And you were talking earlier, like, is there any room in this tournament for creativity and for people to do nutty things? This is the game we were going to see it in, and I really hope we get to see SizzleUrCob continued on. But like Quinn said, this was just a complete mismatch here. Got outshot about 14.5 shots on average per game.
All right, let's head down to Alex right now with our winner, SizzleUrCob.
Yes, I am here with the winner, SizzleUrCob. Congrats, guys. Let's give it up for these guys. So much fun. so much fun watching you guys, and in particular, I feel like your mannerisms when you're playing the game. Can y'all talk about that a little bit, like just how you stay in the zone with how you communicate with each other and how you have fun with it?
Oh, a lot of it's just like our personalities. Like we just like having fun with a lot of stuff that we do, so we kind of bring it to the tournaments as well. Probably why we're not on like a 3v3 team together. I don't think that would really work out, but it's working here, so.
Yeah, same question over here.
Yeah, in Suze, it's great. Me and Cobb are like really good friends, and we're both pretty dumb, so everything works out nice together. We kind of just play our own game and just bring it to the tournament, and like we're really loose when we play, so we're not really stressed at all. So I don't know, we're just here to bring it.
Yeah, and speaking towards that a little bit, y'all had a pretty nice, smooth run through the regionals there in San Francisco. Can you talk about, you know, your mentality coming into this tournament? All these big teams, it's a $100,000 prize pool. Were you feeling any pressure? How are you feeling coming into this tournament?
Not too much pressure. We know it's a twos tournament. It's a lot different from threes, so there's a lot less pressure just on that. On top of that, most people kind of just expect us to do well, and I mean, me and Cobb are both just confident in ourselves, so I think we'll be fine overall.
Yeah, I definitely think that we come in with confidence. Like we knew that there's definitely going to be a lot of like better teams here just because it's not the qualifier anymore, but definitely with confidence.
Yeah, that's very important. And speaking towards that, especially looking into the next round where you're playing either Method or Ghost. Can you talk about those two teams, who you expect to face?
I think it's going to be a close match, actually. Probably one of the closest quarterfinal matches that's going to come up. I think I'd have to pull towards my boys Metza and Magnus, though. Right there. I know they can hear me. They don't want to acknowledge me, but...
Oh, they are right there. Now, in regards to the rest of the tournament, the rest of the teams, obviously you're looking forward to this next matchup coming. But what about the other teams? Are y'all particularly afraid of the other teams, or is it more just, you know, the same old way you've been playing?
We're not really like afraid of any teams, but if there's one team that we feel like personally that I would look out for, it's probably Cloud9. They've been on like a hot streak lately and like Squishy's nuts and twos, so just like they're the team to look out for, but we're not really afraid of like anyone. We're just gonna going, being loose overall. So that's it.
Well, that's awesome, guys. Super fun to watch. Let's give it up one more time for SizzleUrCob. Winning their first round match.
All right, let's take a look at some of their antics here because, as we mentioned before, this is a fun-loving team. They react ridiculously every time. And honestly, when you see some people just sit down and they're very serious about the game, it's just nice to have this broken up every once in a while, huh?
Yeah, it's so awesome to see that they're really just having fun with it. I mean, Sizz's reactions, every goal, he knew that the camera was looking at him, and he gave us what we all wanted to see, all the celebrations.
I just want more of this in esports. I want more people just being more animated with everything that happens. It's a fun game. We're having a blast. I want to see that you're having a blast too, you know?
All right, fair enough. Well, we only have one more round of 16 match to go, so we want to catch everyone up on how we've gotten to this point. We can take a look at the brackets, and we're also going to take a look at all of our highlights up to this point so far. So